Hey everyone, it's Candy here, and I have my friend Darlene with me. We are going to talk about how to shift the shit today.
Yeah.
You heard me right. So I'm actually going to hand things off. Darlene, go ahead and kick us off.
All right. So glad to be here. Candy and I have some really fun plans for today and the future. So we both work with light workers and healers and everyone who's ready to shift the shit, because it's time to get off your high horse. It's time to get out of bed. It's time to stop the procrastination and the hesitation. If you came here with a mission, it's time to get started. And we are going to be the co-pilots of a brand new podcast. Right now, we're calling it Shift the Shit. But buckle up, Buttercup, because it's a ride. We're not going to lie. And that's why we're here. We came here to help those who are in that place that they're ready to move forward. So I'm Darlene Sochin, and welcome to Shift the Shit.
Welcome, right? Buckle up, baby. Seriously, welcome to Shift the Shit. And so today we're going to do more kind of like just let you guys know what's going on. We're just going to get into a couple things, let you get a feel for things. But our plan is that we are going to go live every week, and we are going to have conversations that are raw and real and meaty. And for those of you jumping on, I know I have shared this out to a couple different pages and groups, and I know Darlene is as well. Please let us know you are here. Drop your, say hello in the comments. Let us know where you're joining us from. And one of the reasons we wanted to do this live with all of you is we want to create a space that can be interactive. So we want a way that we can engage with you. And as we are going through whatever topics seem to just sort of present in the moment, you will see Darlene and I riffing quite a bit. We tend to do that quite well. And we also want to be able to answer your questions as we are going along. So super grateful that you are all here. I see several of you jumping on. I don't know exactly who. So whoever has jumped us, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. So Darlene, what is on your heart? What is top of mind for you right now that we should dig into today?
Well, what's coming through, so this is funny. Candy and I came on and we were thinking, okay, what's the topic today? And we both went. So what I was receiving was, you're going to get on and you're going to go in the moment. That's what this is about. What's happening, what's presenting itself in the moment. So as Candy asked me that question, what showed up was, if you're hesitating, if you're feeling any sense of, oh shit, I don't know if I can do this, you can. It's why you're here. And what Candy and I will be doing every week is supporting you and giving you tools and interviewing people also every other week in regards to how we can help you step into your mission. Or if you're feeling like you need to up level, like you're just doing a little bit, you're playing with some potions, but now it's time to really create something big. So it's time to find that inner bright light that you came here. Just the fact that you're here right now and that you're a healer, you have a mission. Now it's time. Yeah. So Candy, what would you say to like some light workers or healers that, it keeps them up at night? They know there's this mission, but they don't quite know how to step forward.
Yeah, I would say a couple things. So I love that. And I know, I would say this only because I struggle with these things as well. And Darlene, I know we've had these conversations about that. And for some of you, those of you that are jumping on from my community, I talk a lot about how to destroy the noise. And so we have these things that creep in. And when I say noise, it's really this acronym around negative self-talk, filters and frames. It's the opinions of others we choose to internalize. this. It's the inefficiencies we're creating in our day-to-day activities, which means we're creating a lot of distractions, which for a lot of people right now, myself included, it's, are you really dialed in, or are you creating all kinds of ways to distract yourself and get off on little rabbit holes or little tangents? And the S is my favorite one, which is stop shooting all over yourself. And if you think I said something else, it's the same thing. Shitting, it's the same thing. We are just continuing to put layers of that crap all over ourselves. And it's one of the reasons we want to talk about shifting the shit, right? There's so much shit getting out there that's getting in our way, and it's that noise. And then it's the excuses that we choose to create and perpetuate, right? And so when I think about you asking that question, Darlene, I look at where inside that noise, where inside the shit that's showing up, what is distracting you more times than not. So there's things that are pulling you off your game. We think oftentimes, we have this story that runs that says, I feel like I'm called to do something more. I feel like I'm a healer, I'm a light worker, I'm a leader, yet I don't have X, Y, and Z, or yet I'm not qualified enough, or yet I'm not, I don't know how to do all of this. I don't know how to build a business. I don't know how to get out there. I don't know how to do it in my company. And we find all these different reasons why we can't, instead of looking at what's the most aligned way in this moment I can take action. And so oftentimes it's just making the first step, in my opinion, and Darlene, I'd love for you to weigh in on this. The first step, in my opinion, is you've got to get clear about that declaration around who you're choosing to be and how you're choosing to show up. Are you going to show up in that purpose? And are you willing to make the level of commitment that says it's now a non-negotiable? So whatever is required from there, the first thing is really anchoring that in to say, I am committed to waking up every day and stepping into my purpose and doing what's required for aligned, inspired action to activate that in whatever way each day I wake up. And so I'd love to hear your perspective on that, because I think that's such a juicy question, and there's so much in it.
And we'll be covering all of it in the months and years to come. Right. So you have to start with your own commitment. And I think what's really important here is those who are hesitating or doubting or hearing the noise outside themselves, especially on like others' opinions, what they're afraid others might think of. That's huge. So if you're just popping into your mission every so often, or when you feel safe, or when you think it's okay, that the in and out, the oscillating between mission and going back to, the cocoon, that's not going to work right now. Right. It's not. You got to make that commitment to how are you going to show up every day? And even if it's like one thing a day, if you start there, that's going to help. That's going to catapult you to the next level. It's going to catapult you to maybe doing 10 things a day. And so you wake up every day, and the first question is, how can I commit to my mission today? How can I commit to what my soul came here to do? And it might be just, your commitment could be, I'm not turning on the TV today, or I'm going to stay off social media today and give my body a rest. So you're the only one who's going to know that answer. You're the only one who's going to know what's going to work for you. Yeah. In that moment.
Well, yes. One of the things I want to hit on what you said, two things actually. One is it's that consistent commitment.
Yes.
I think we need to realize, first of all, I'm going to channel one of my heroes or heroesses. Hey, Allie. Hey, Ahava. I see some of you jumping on. I want you to realize that it's consistent commitment, and it means you're going to disrupt your comfort zone. And so that being said, to channel the fabulous Betty White, who says someone's opinion of you is none of your damn business. I need you to embrace that and embody that, because if you're going to step up and step forward as the light worker, the enlightened leader, the healer that you are, you need to realize that you are going to be creating an uncomfortable around people who are so locked into their comfort zone. That consistent commitment is not something that's often comfortable, because it gets really easy to do what Darlene just said, cocoon back to like want to be like, this is tough. This is hard. People are like hating me today. People are like cussing me out. They're like this, they're that. Or it's a lot of energy and vibration to keep yourself elevated, especially if you know that your mission is tied to shifting the level of consciousness or raising the level of leadership in any capacity. Right now, with everything that's going on, it means creating that consistent discipline, that consistent commitment and conviction that says, I'm showing up this way no matter what, and then getting dialed in to say, what can I do today? Because the second piece, and after we kind of vet this out a little, I want to come back to that part around only you know, and that intuitive, like, how do you know? Because some of you, the noise is, you've gotten so noisy inside, you can't even hear what your body and your consciousness is trying to tell you. So we need to talk about clearing that out as well, because the only way that you can do that level of commitment every day is to clear out some of the external and internal noise that's going on, that's blocking you from hearing the messages around how you take action and how you stand in that level of conviction.
Yeah, and that's absolutely key. And that's where I started my work. We didn't talk about actually the work we do with lightworkers. So that's my mission. That's my job. When someone comes to me and they want to be that healer or that light worker, they want to be that catalyst. What my job has been for the last 16, 17 years is helping them clear that shit out of their way so that they can move forward, whether it's doubts, whether it's literally energies preventing them from doing so, because, you know, you could find that too out there. Belief systems that they were taught, that so their mission goes against perhaps the religion they were raised in. The energy work I do helps to dissolve any of these belief systems people are carrying that are not resonant with their soul's mission. And what's also important is if someone is asking themselves these questions or they're feeling uncomfortable, the consistency is key, because then you'll realize what's really important. Is it your mission, or that your neighbors are questioning who you are and who you think you are and what is she doing over there? The mission, the why you're here, is what's important, not whether or not you'll be invited to the next barbecue. Well, so you got to weigh that out, right?
Well, you have to exactly. And it's crazy because I that's one of the things I do a lot of work with people on, is getting clear on what I call your what, why, and who. And the what being, what is it you want to create, impact, influence, affect, change, contribute to, add value. Essentially, what is your living legacy? And so when we talk about that, legacy is not this thing that happens when you leave the earth. Legacy is this thing that happens in every moment. Right now, Darlene and I are creating living legacy because we're engaged in a way that's engaging with other people, which means something is going to be activated and amplified through this process. And even if it's a soundbite, even if it's a little nugget, something will shift. And it's not that there's new necessarily. It's just something clicks at the time that you need it. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. When the teacher is ready, the student appears, right? And so what happens is our living legacy is every moment that we are engaged in interacting with other human beings. And so our experiential learning comes from our relationships. It comes from our interactions. It comes from the way we choose to show up and serve. And I talk about that a lot too. Leadership is a function of three things. It's a function of how you choose to show up, how you choose to serve, and how you choose to take personal responsibility inside those two spaces. Ultimately, leadership's a choice. And so when we talk about that consistent conviction and commitment and discipline, your why. So you get into the what is it I want to create? What do I want to affect, influence? What's my living legacy? Why does that matter to me? Not why does it matter to your spouse, or why does it matter to your parents or your kids or your neighbors, or why does that matter to you? Why does that wake you up in the middle of the night or in the morning? And if you don't know that, there's an opportunity for you to peel back some of the layers of crap so that you can, and I don't even mean peeling back the onion, I mean peeling back just the layers of crap that have gotten crusty and are sort of like creating this opaque way you can look out into the world, right? It's like that you can't even see through the glass anymore. It's gotten so just like covered with crap. And right, yes. And then who do you serve? Because the other piece of that is we don't serve everybody. We're not here to be a lighthouse for everybody. We're here to serve those people that want and need us. And what we need to do is refine our light in such a way that when we speak, when we show up, when we're so connected to our why, that people can easily find us. Because think about it, there's over 2 billion people just on Facebook alone. And what happens is if I go out going, I'm a coach, it sounds like the Charlie Brown teacher going, womp, 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 womp. Versus I have a very distinctive point of view. I have a very distinctive way I show up. And I always say to people, I'm like, look, you either love me or you don't. Either way, it's none of my business. And what is so interesting is when someone says, I don't know what I think about Candy. Ooh, that says more about you than it does me. Because I got to say, I make it really easy. I'm either for you or I'm not. And either way is okay. And we've got to get so clear in who we are and why that matters, what we're here to deliver, what gifts, what's our song, whatever you want to call that context, whatever that is that's yearning inside of you. And we all have that. I do a whole exercise on Ikigai to help people see that which gets you up in the morning, right? It's that fire that when you realize that your why becomes so clear that the uncomfortable of not living your why becomes so much more than the uncomfortable of not being accepted and accepted. It's not even about belonging at this point. It's about being accepted by people who are walking around in their own kind of daze and zombiness and whatever. You're going to rise above that because at the end of the day, it's got to be, I ruffle some feathers. I disrupt. And my work is way too important to keep getting caught up. And there are people that test and challenge me sometimes that I have to go, does that opinion really matter to me? Am I going to get caught up in their whatever they just posted on? I've got groups that are tough. And I have to keep choosing how I show up in that space and what is connected in integrity with who I am, my authenticity, my why, and know that the work I'm doing is far bigger than whatever fear I keep allowing myself to get caught up in because somebody may not like me. There are a lot of people that don't like me. I'm going to channel my little inner Oprah where she's like, look, if you don't have, the haters don't show up, you're not doing anything that's worthwhile and big enough. Because here's the thing, people ahead of you are never the ones hating on you. I want you to realize that too. The people that always have the opinion, that always have the negative thing, that always want to like hold you back are not the people ahead of you that are opening up spaces, the other light workers. They're the people that you're scaring the crap out of because you're sort of like shaking up their shit and they're having to deal with whatever gets stirred up in that shit. I just went off on a tangent. So
well, we are shifting the shit. So you have to stir it up sometimes before you, so that you can see, what keeps coming up. What do you keep finding yourself faced with? What do you keep closing your eyes to? And Candy and I, we're going to help you uncover that, and not just uncover it so you're then left at the end of the half hour or the 45 minutes. It's not just about uncovering it. We're then going to offer the tools and the support and the cheerleading and the encouragement, because we're all needed. And that's another thing too. So we're talking about everything today. So we'll get more focused as we move along. This is to give everybody a taste of all the different conversations we're going to have. Competition is another one. So if you're that just came down. So if you're feeling you're a light worker or you're a healer and maybe you've dabbled in it and you're like, no, I went through this for several years. If someone called me or emailed me, oh, I saw, that you do Reiki sessions or you teach Reiki. The first thought to me would have been a few years ago, oh, I think so-and-so would probably work better for you. I would literally send people to someone else because I thought they were better than me. I was afraid to, and it's not even about competition. That's another conversation, but this is about confidence. So first you have to build your confidence. Then you also have to be aware that there is not competition in the healer light worker world, because if you're already a healer or a light worker or work with energy, you're aware of the fact that we all have a different frequency. We all have a different energy. So we're going to be drawing in a different crowd than, you know, the Reiki practitioner down the street or the coach, you know, in Arizona. We're going to have a different energy. We're going to have a completely different audience. So first build your confidence and then realize it's not a competition. Just be who you are, be that light, be the code, the frequency you came here to be, and that the audience who resonates with your code and with your frequency, that's who will find you. It's not about competition, but it is about confidence.
Well, and the thing is in all reality and truth, there is no competition. There's no such thing. Because there's not this, we're never playing in the same field of energy or experience or knowledge. And I always tell people it's kind of like that triangle where it's your expertise, your experience, and your passion. That is a unique blueprint that is just yours. And when you dial into that, that is your voice print, that is your thumbprint, that is your light. And so there's other people, and think about different songs that when you hear the first couple notes, you're like, is it that song or that song? While they may have a similar melody, there's a harmony to them that is uniquely theirs, that is distinctive. It's a certain frequency, it's a certain vibration. We all have that. We all have that aspect because together we create sort of this puzzle where all the pieces fit together. And so when we keep trying, and I remember there's a great, Matatsu does these great videos on YouTube, and I use this in one of my trainings, but there's one called Dream. And he's like, you can never be the best copycat of anyone. You can only be the best version of yourself. And so when we keep aligning or trying to align ourselves to compete to some arbitrary model we think we need to live our life, it's oftentimes where we create those distractions and confuse ourselves. Because what happens is, like, somebody will be like, they've got a great morning routine, and I'll be like, I, as a light worker, should have a morning routine that looks like that. However, my human design and the way my frequency and vibration gets activated is actually an opposite of what that morning routine looks like. So it actually jams me up. And it creates this resistance, because it's one of the things I want you to think about as well. If you're like, I don't know if I'm aligned or not, I'm going to give you a really easy way. When you think about when something's showing up, does your body feel light and expansive? And so think about it. You know, when you feel like it's open, you actually have your shoulders back, your chest feels open. You can feel light coming in and emanating out. There's just this lightness of like, you feel awake and energized and light and expansive. Or are you feeling really tight and contracted and small? And, you know, you've got this like, there's places where there's just pain in your body, and you feel like because you can feel that in and of itself is an indicator for you to say, oh, I need to and sometimes just even the word expand can help you open your body back up to even be that portal. Because when, you know, Darlene's talking about it, some of the things we're going to talk about is all those C's. It's clarity, it's confidence, it's competence, it's being able to have courage, it's being able to communicate and connect, it's being able to commit to your vision and purpose, and it's being able to collaborate like we're doing here. There are some very powerful C's we're going to activate in this space, because when you think about that, when you start to say, this is my purpose, this keeps tapping on me. And by the way, even if it's that annoying thing that you're like, why do I keep having dreams about that? Or why does that keep I don't know. Trust me, there are times I thought my purpose was one thing, and then it keeps showing up universal 2x4 to kick me in the ass to be like, Candy, that's not really where I want you to play right now. That's not your purpose. You're going to keep doing this. You're going to keep taking things to corporate, or you're going to do whatever it is that I keep saying, oh, I'm done with that. Universe is kind of funny sometimes when it kicks you in your butt. It's like, okay, well, parent, you need a little 2x4 to wake up to realize, maybe not so much, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the key to all of this, like you were talking about the distractions and the noises, focus on in our culture, this sounds selfish, but if you want to get out there and fulfill your mission and your soul's purpose, you got to focus on you for a little bit so that you can develop the confidence, so that you can then create consistency. And without looking in and concentration, that's another C word, without concentrating on yourself to build your confidence, it's going to be a harder, bumpier ride. And I think I took that route. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You want to take that time for yourself.
That is one of the things I teach people is we've been taught in our culture that it's selfish to put yourself first. And I want you to consider it's actually selfish when you don't.
Yeah.
It's incredibly selfish and arrogant when you keep giving out that which you have not replenished, because first of all, that's just used up old energy. That's not your best and highest level of love and gift and expression that you can be putting in the world. And so when we keep making everyone else first, it's actually extremely arrogant of us. It's arrogant of us to say, I'm above needing to replenish and restore. I'm above, even though we don't know what it is, but I want to offer that it's because there's a difference between being self-full and selfish. Selfish says, I'm doing this in spite of others. I'm doing this with no regards to others. Right. I'm doing this because I'm narcissistic. And I think it's because there is a narcissism, even when you are constantly being selfless without replenishing. There is this need of, it puts us in that martyr capacity, which is not healthy. Self-full says, I am filling myself up in order to serve others. And I know that in order for me to give the best of what I have been given in my gifts, in my love, in my expression, I need to keep making sure that my cup is full or overflowing, which means then it is a non-negotiable for me to put what is required for me to show when I need a day off. And like even Sunday, some of you in my one group notice I did not post yesterday, which is unlike me. I didn't post Saturday or Sunday, truthfully, because I needed to detach a little bit from social media. And in order for me to show up powerfully this week in the way that I want to be communicating, the way that I want to be serving, I have to give myself that restoration space. That is being self-full, not being selfish. It would have been selfish of me for me to further deplete out and handing you all of the crap that's left over, because I have to show up. Consistency doesn't mean that every day looks the same. Consistency means honoring who you are and what you need in order to show up as the light worker and lead from that capacity.
Absolutely. In Japanese Reiki, there's the 5 precepts that we look at every day. And the fourth one is consistency with your daily practice and checking in with yourself. So if you wake up and say, you know what, today, so you're consistent about checking in. Yep. It's not about consistency about showing up. It's the consistency about honoring yourself and your truth. So if you wake up and today, you know what, I need to not turn my phone on. I need to rest. I need to go to nature. The consistency is showing up and listening to your body, listening to your soul, and then following through on it. So, and remember, there's not this competition. There's not like if you miss a couple days of showing up for others, it's not like you're going to be forgotten or the message will get lost. It's always going to be there. Your energy isn't going anywhere. It will actually expand if you listen and take the time to go replenish. Then when you come back, the message can expand even further and your energy will be brighter. And supporting your community. So consistency means showing up for you. Consistency means, yeah.
And I love the way you said that. I'm going to take you off for a minute because I can't see right. I love the space around you. Actually, it's the concept of sometimes we have to slow down to speed up. That when we take that time to fully honor ourselves and being able to really tap into our body, into our consciousness, into what our soul is trying. And oftentimes our soul speaks to us in whispers. It's actually the voice that's so quiet because the noise is so loud that it's kind of like and I know this as somebody who projects a lot and has big energy. I know that especially when I'm on stage or something else, when I take those moments to really dial in and get quiet, that's when people are like, oh, that was crazy. Like everyone's leaned in to listen. It's the same with your soul, that your soul's not going to yell at you. Your soul's just like, when you're ready, I'm here. And it's very quiet and it's there. And what I love about what Darlene just said is it also creates more expansion. What we don't realize is when we're just going, we have this culture, and it's so funny because even from a human design standpoint, 75% of the population is some form of generator, manifesting or just a regular generator. And our whole level of alignment says that we're looking for fulfillment and satisfaction. Yet we've been taught that it's all about the hustle and make it happen and achieve and accomplish and pound and grind and whine and like burn and churn and all of this, when we as human beings actually weren't designed that way. We weren't designed to all of this we're gonna lean into, but we weren't put on this earth to suffer. We weren't put on this earth to work ourselves into the ground and wind and grind and burn and churn and hustle until there's no more hustle left. It's the hustle needs to be in the spaces because when you're aligned, and depending on how your design activates, when you're aligned, you will have all the energy. And many of you know that. You know what it feels like to be, I mean, some of you maybe not for a while, but you know what it feels like to be in that sweet spot, to be on your A game, to be in flow. When you're like, man, I think it's 4 p.m. It's like 9:30 in the morning, because you are just like rocking and rolling. And to Darlene's point, when you honor that at every level, the energy of that keeps expanding. That for some of you that think you got to keep going out and finding your clients or business, or that you actually would be surprised that it's those days. And I'm going to tell you, there have been days I've just wept because it's been so beautiful how I will be in a day. And when I do go back to my phone or whatever, there's a message from someone saying, Candy, I don't know why, but I wanted to reach out. I wanted to talk to you about X. It's because my energy actually had space to breathe and be activated in my authentic light, that then you become that lighthouse that even when you're not trying to, which is the beauty of it, when you're being, you just start calling magic and abundance and prosperity and like just the juice to you. And it's like, you start going, it's like a miracle happened. It's exactly what just happened, because the miracle is you got out of your own damn way.
Yeah. And you don't put yourself out there. So this probably one last topic, because we're throwing a lot out there. And we'll definitely talk about all of these topics in more depth as we move along. But that idea of the hustle and bustle for light workers and healers, it looks like serving. We have to serve everybody because we came here to be a healer. So we have to heal everybody, which is another topic. But also, we're not here to be enslaved by those we serve. We're here to help support, not to enable, and not to become the person who can't take a break, or the light worker that gets stepped on and taken advantage of. A lot of light workers think, oh, I have to do whatever is for the greatest good. That's not going to work if it burns you out. That's not going to work if you agree to clients who want to take advantage of you, but you think you have to continue because you're a healer and a light worker, and to say no to them would go against what the light worker's way is. Your health and your wellness come first. If you want to fulfill and accomplish your mission, you have to be a strong light worker. And what I'm talking about, I'm creating a new program called Light Workers to Light Leaders. You got to become a leader of the light that you bring into the world, which means sovereign, and you make your own choices, and you're not going to feel guilty if someone who takes advantage of you needs to hear a no. Yep. You got to take care of your energy, or else you won't be able to finish what you came here to do and be that bright light. And that's going to be a huge topic.
We're going to lean into that a lot around boundaries, around how light workers and healers and enlightened leaders really need to understand that boundaries are not just for you. They're actually gifts you're giving other people. Because one of the things as we close for today, to even like plant in from what Darlene just said, is you're not here to fix people. That is not the role of being a leader or a light worker. Our role is not to fix. Our role is to guide. It's to support It's to help open up pathways, because the reality of all of it is we already have every one of us already has everything we need within us, and that's accessible. Everything has already been created for us. It's a matter of us learning how to open up the pathways to access more. And oftentimes that's getting rid of the distractions and the noise, and it's creating very clear boundaries. It's being very clear around what you're available for, what you're not, what's safe for you, what's not. And I love that when Darlene talks about light, one of the ways I define light is that it's love, inspiration, generosity. And we'll talk about some of those things in more detail. Healing, because we all have our own healing to do as well. And then there's truth, right? And so when we understand that our role is as guides, not as we're not to do it for people, we're not to fix it for people. That in and of itself moves us out of that servitude, kind of like we feel we have to I get to serve. And serving energy is very different than what many of us, myself included, I've had to learn this, and I'm continuing to learn how to untether myself from this need of wanting to fix everyone, to that's not really me being in a place to serve. That's me being in an entangled way of servitude instead. And there's a big energy difference between them.
Huge difference. And that the idea that light workers and healers have to sacrifice themselves and make choices for the greater good or others.
Right.
We're not here to sacrifice anything. And if you find that you're having to sacrifice your truth or your energy or your health or your well-being in the name of some other higher, greater good, you need to stop and think about. So there's this whole level of old age light worker myths that it's time to break free from. And that's been part of the matrix, dare I say, where light workers are put in this box, and we're taught that we need to sacrifice for the greater good, even if it means our own well-being. This myth we've got to break. We're here to serve. We're here to be the great bright light. We're here to be leaders, not to be stepped all over and to sacrifice.
And we need some opportunity, and I think we're getting close. We've got so much we're going to dig into that's going to be much more granular. Again, just trying to open the conversation right now. But one of those opportunities is going to be redefining what leadership really means, because the definition, similar to that antiquated or myth box of what light workers look like, because I look at leaders and light workers being in the same space, how we define that. We have an opportunity to readjust that and to lay a new foundation around that. And so as we kind of bring this to a close, Darlene, I'm curious, if you could leave everybody with something we were in a space, but we also kind of hit on several different things. And
so much.
The comments that there is definitely some things that are resonating, and our intention moving forward is that we will be going deeper in a topic at a time, and again also allowing whatever moves through us and riffs to come through, because we're also feeling into the energy of those of you that are participating in this conversation, so that we can deliver what we feel is most relevant, and we get channeled. Both Darlene and I both get downloads and channeling. And so you may not see us sometimes there may be a topic a week when we're out there, we're like, hey, join us, it's going to be this topic. Other times it's literally going to be, we're going to feel into it. It's going to be an opportunity for us to just kind of engage. And you'll see us doing a lot of riffing as we do that. But as we're closing today, Darlene, I'm curious, what would you like to leave this group with right now?
So what's coming through right now is for everybody who may be hesitating or not quite stepping into that full commitment, not quite consistent yet, you're not alone. We're here to help you. This is not something that each of you have to do by yourself. We're creating this just for that purpose, so that we can help cheer you on and help you, support you with the tools that are required, so that you won't feel alone. And if you do, head up and there's obstacles in your way, there's going to be someone there to support you and catch you. You're not here alone. You have your own team spiritually, and you have Candy and I now. So you're not alone. We're cheering you on, and I'm asking you in this moment, tap into your heart, hold your hands over your heart, breathe in and see the light just get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's as big as your body. Now it fills the room you're in. It fills up the state you're in, the country you're in, and it goes as big as the planet and beyond. This is how big you are. I want you to know that. I want you to feel it, acknowledge it, and then commit to it. And there's the steps. We're here to lead you on the way. Candy.
Well, and the last thing I would just add to that is don't wait to step into that light. And so what I mean by that is the other side of that is we often think we're alone and we don't know how to do this. There's that aspect, but there's also the I'm not whatever enough. I need this, and no, you need to start with where you're at now and lift people as you continue to lift yourself. So I love the thought of having one hand in front of you and one hand behind you. And as you are reaching and having those ahead of you help lift you up, you are lifting and raising others as well. And so we do not need to wait. We've never needed to wait, but more than ever right now is not a time to wait, to activate your light and to shine it in its fullness, whatever that means at this moment, wherever you're at. There is someone who needs what you have to offer, needs your light, needs your energy right now. And as you grow, they will grow as well. And so I just say that because it's not about having all your ducks in a row. It's not about having all of that laid out. It's about saying yes. And many of you that know me know I talk about how to say yes to yourself. It's about you right now saying yes to yourself. I'm ready to lean in and commit to my soul's purpose, whatever that is, even if it's, I need to start getting clarity around what that is.
Yeah.
The minute you connect, your energy already starts to activate and you are already starting to put yourself in a position as a leader and light worker.
And once you say yes, if you're worried that you're not ready yet, if there's things you still need to heal, when you say yes, those who are meant to help and support you are going to show up, but you got to say yes first.
Yep. So with that, everybody, thank you for joining us for our inaugural, whatever you want, very first. There will be much more that we are going to be presenting to you. As Darlene said, not only are we going to be meeting regularly, we're going to be inviting some other people to some conversations. I will tell you that while this one got juicy as well, there are going to be some really deep conversations coming up that we are going to take some very specific things and lean in even more. Oh, you are so welcome, Allie. So grateful for all of you who are here. And for those of you that catch the replay later, please let us know you're watching the replay. If you have questions or comments as you allow this to sort of marinate, please, Darlene and I will be going back and commenting and responding in the thread. So please feel free. And we will be here every Monday at 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So dial in, put it on your calendar. We will be going live every Monday. So with that, everybody, we look forward to seeing you. Darlene, anything else?
We're here and we're creating space for you so that you can complete your mission. Live it. Be it. Peace out.
Mwah! Everyone.